Okay, this tutorial, we are going to make an example of a name tag for the name tag tutorial. We're in, assume here that you have Affinity Design loaded up. We're about to start Affinity Design. Before we start, some things we have to check. The size of the paper doesn't matter. We can do A4, that's fine. Our name tag is going to be tiny, right? And I'm just going to approximate the sizes for my example over here. But over here, we have to make sure that we have RGB selected over here. So how we do that is we'll go to color, and over here, color formats. We're going to click that. We want to make sure we have RGB/8. Start a new one. Yes, RGB/8. If you have the wrong one, if you have CMYK8, CMYK is what printers use, like bubble jet printers, and that stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black is the 4 colors that your printers use, and that's when you buy ink for your printer. The laser cutter will not accept that. It will have bad mistakes happening. So we need to be in RGB8 for our color. And then we will press create. We should be at our black screen over here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the rectangle. This is like the Pokemon card tutorial we had before, right? So we're going to make our rectangle. And one thing I want to do is I want to fix up this screen over here. We have the triangle here. But for this particular activity, now that we're using the laser cutter, let's try to get the 3 bars, the RGB bars. It's going to be easier for us to work with. So how we do that, I think we press this button down here. So the top right-hand corner, we see those 3 lines. I want us to press sliders. Right? We press sliders, and watch what happens to that. We no longer have the color wheel, we have the color sliders. Okay? Do we all see the color sliders? Yep, cool. So now I can do my thing here where I can change these sliders. Let's do the first thing we're going to do is going to be a square or a rectangle. So I know this is going to be a red cut. Now what will red mean on my file? Anybody? Yeah, vector cut, yes. So we do this, we can drag our slider all the way down to 0 for the green, or we can just type in the box here, we can type 0, and we're not 233, that's incorrect, we are 255. And then we press enter. The other issue we have here is, what I've actually done here is, do you see this little icon over here? Do you see how there's a full circle and a circle that's just an outside? The full circle is red. We do not want that. Yeah, so the fill circle is red. We don't want that. So what we want to do is we want to click the fill. So I've clicked that, and now that I've clicked that, I'm going to click the little tiny circle to the left of it that has the red line. This means do not have any fill. No fill. Click that, so there's no fill now. If we click the button at the top, so they call it the stroke, which is the outside line. We're going to click that black ring, and this is when we want to drag this red all the way to the top. So now this should get us the shape that we want. The next thing we want to do is we want to go to stroke, and over here we can put our thickness. What did the presentation say our thickness has to be? 0.001. Very good. 0.001, and then we press enter. And now by default, it might still show 0 there, but over here on the style, it's linked up to a different setting. So there is a line that exists there, but it's just so small, it's not going to render right all the time. For my presentations to you and the YouTube video, I might change the thickness just so we can see it, but we'll deal with that. We'll see how it looks on the presenter. It depends how the projector's feeling on the day. So let's start by making our shape. Where is our shape option? Remember this from before. I want to do a rounded rectangle, right? That looks pretty cool. Are there any other options? Oh, wow. Let's just start with nice, simple. Let's just do a rounded rectangle tool, but you can use all these other shapes later if you want. You can do like a heart-shaped thing. Rounded rectangle tool, we'll select that. Remember this is like from the Pokemon card tutorial. We can click somewhere and we'll drag it out. We'll make a shape. We have this shape over here and we can adjust it with our width and height. I'm just going to make up some numbers. Do I have a ruler on me? Right, so I'm just going to guess 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make mine 5 centimeters by 2 centimeters. So 50 wide by 20 high. And I'll press enter. Cool. That's just the shape here. And I think if I press somewhere, oh, well, it's there, but it's disappeared. Let's highlight over it. So it does exist. It's just not showing up because I think it's so thin that it can't be seen. Now, there's a way that we can view this. View, is it hairline? Okay, so we can actually view this. If we go to view and we change our view mode to hairline, what that's going to do is going to show us, because right now it's too small, it doesn't exist. So to prove it, if I go over here and if I make this a thick boy, right, the line does exist. But that's too thick. That's going to ruin our laser cutter, right? It's just not going to accept it. So we'll bring it back to 0.001 like we did, and it's there, but it's so thin that the computer tries to be smart with its rendering, and if it's too small, it doesn't waste GPU power to render it. So how we show this is we press our view button up here at the top, we go to view mode, and we'll press hairline, and then it should show up. So now this is good. This is good for us. And you can see it on the projector as well. Is it all right for you? Good. So now that's there. And hopefully it's all right. Let me check. Is it all right on the YouTube video? I assume so, yes. Cool. Cool, we got that line there. This is going to cut out a little tiny rectangle. Also, I have this in a random section of the page, right? If I wanted to be very efficient, I could move this, right, over here into the corner. But when it goes to the laser cutter, it doesn't actually matter where it is. It's just going to draw the lines, and I can move it around on the laser cutter later. So I only care about, if I'm putting multiple parts together, then I care about how they are close to each other. But I'll move it in the right part of the laser cutter because I'm also going to move the piece of wood or plastic around on the laser cutter. So I need to match it to where that material is. All right, so we've got this next thing. What's the next thing? Give me, what's an idea that I can do next on my little name tag? Sorry? Colors? How about a border? Let's do a border. Do you remember how to do the border for the Pokemon card? Do you remember that?
Contour tool.
Contour tool. Very good, yes. So we use the contour tool. Now I believe we copied it and then we pasted it and then we use the contour tool. I think we selected it and then, what do we do? We minused it, minus 1 millimeter, right? We can do that, I guess. There we go. Nice. That's going to look very, very nice now, this line here. Now, let me just check something. Is this going to have multiple? Okay, cool. Cool. So that's my contour tool. What is this going to look like if I bring this to the laser cutter? What product am I going to get? So when the laser cutter sees the outside line, right, we're giving it the instruction, I want you to move the laser around this outside line, right? Hey, Mr. Laser Cutter, move around this line over here. What command is that giving the laser cutter? Cut. Yes, it's going to cut that line out. Then this line, it sees this line over here. What instruction is that going to tell the laser cutter? When it sees that second line, what is it telling the laser cutter to do? Cut. So it's just cutting out another border. That's not what I want, right? I want a border. So I need to change this to something else. This is where I'm going to change this one. What color should I change this one to? Blue. Very good, yes. So to blue, we drag the blue all the way up. We drag the red all the way down. So now this is blue. So this will be a shape that the outside of the square is going to be cut, and then it's going to do a little line on the inside to give a nice little border to my artwork. Next, let's put some text. Let's put a name over here. Let's put a name over here on this drawing. And we can do some things with fonts. Now, the problem with fonts is sometimes this software is going to use the fonts that you have on your device. Okay? For the basic fonts, it should be fine. But if you're using a Mac or a particular version of Windows, and if your device uses a different font than my device or the laser cutter, it's not going to be able to draw that font effectively on the project. So just something to be careful about, especially if you have a very interesting looking font. It might not always work out. But let's go and we see what we have. Over here we hover the name. Let's go and change the, can I change the font style? Let's see. Okay, over here where it says, that's my thickness. Oh, over here, Arial, that's it. So over here, you can do all your normal stuff where you change your font. So let's say I want it to look like, oh. There you go. Let's see if this works. Cool, we got that over here. Actually, this one is a good example of one that won't work, right? So this black over here works great, right? You want black to be thickness. Realistically, you don't want your black to be any thinner than like 1 millimeter, because then it might not come out very well. So these little thin black lines over here might not look well, might not look good. So let's go and change it to something else instead. Although I like that, except I don't think I would want that background. The Gothic ones are usually good. Gothic. I'm not even here. All right, we'll do this. Britannia Bold. There you go. That's a nice looking one. Cool. Very, very good. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to move it to the side because we want our name tag, right? We're going to get if you've seen a name tag or a keychain holder, right? It has this little hole over here, right? So we need to make that hole. Or like this one over here, this student's one, don't say his name. But this student's over here has the little hole over here, we need to make this little hole. You have choices, you can make another rectangle, you can make a circle. I'll just make a circle for this one. So I'm going to use the circle tool, somewhere over here. The size of the hole, not that. Make the hole. We're going to manually make the size of the hole. How big should this hole be? I don't know, maybe 5 mil, maybe 4 mil might be enough. 4 by 4. 4 by 4, so it's quite a big hole actually. And what I'm going to do is I don't like how they're not aligned. So this is my name tag over here. Your name tag might be unaligned. We're going to use the alignment tool to make everything nice and nice. We'll go here to align. We press this top left-hand corner. To do the move tool, we're going to drag across everything. Everything's selected. Over here in the top middle section, we have our alignment tool. We'll press our alignment. We don't want to align it to the middle vertically because then our hole is going to be in the middle of our name tag, right? But what we do want to do is we want to align it, we don't want to align it horizontally. We want to align it middle vertically. Click this. Oh, look at that. Very, very nice. Good. And now I can, if I want to move this to the side, I can move this slightly and then even if I make a mistake, I can still always realign it. Because in my particular example here, I want to have a little something on the side to draw a little icon, right? So cool, I have now, some of you are going to have some images that you're going to want to make on your design, right? So how do we get those images? We can do things like this. So let's say we're over here and this particular person wants Harry Potter glasses. So I'm just going to use a screen clip over here tool. Hello, Mr. Screen Clip. Yes. We just want the... Cool. Going to get that file. Go over here. Ooh, there we go. Is that it in? Now, I'm not going to keep this. I'm just going to use this to help me do my stenciling. So I'm going to say I want this to be... And this is what a lot of you that have your very big images that you need to simplify for this, you're going to use a process similar to this. I'm going to move it to the side over here. I'm going to make a new layer. And with this new layer, I'm going to try and draw over this as best as I can, right? And for this particular one, I want this to be a black circle, so I can actually make this black over here, and I can make the stroke. I can make this a thickness. Why isn't it showing up? Is it not showing up because? Hold on. Let me try to find out. Why are you not showing up? All right. We got an issue over here. When we viewed it on hairline, it's not showing the thickness of the things that we want. So we have to go view if we want to make something that. What does Pixel Retina even do? Oh, that's not it. So we might have to play around with our no, we don't want vector view. So we might have to play around with our view to switch between hairline and not hairline. Can I right click and change the view? I don't think I can. No, I don't think we can. It's not that sophisticated. That's fine. So while we're doing this, let's go and just change our view mode into pixels. Oh, not pixels, sorry. Not pixels. We want vector. Cool. So let's just change our thing to vector. We know that our name tag exists on the side. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that later. So we'll make this glasses until it's the right thickness. Cool. And then we'll drag this over the top. Very nice, very nice. Yep. That's one set of glasses over there. And I'm going to copy and paste it. So I can make another set of glasses over here. Very nice. And then I've got to make a little joint that connects them together. There. Cool. Made a little thing here. Is that the same thickness? This is how big is this? It's at 1 point. No way. Cool. And then I'll just make the lightning strike as well. Ooh. All right, there's my lightning strike. Cool. This is the set of Harry Potter glasses. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove this. There we go. That's close enough. Right? Good enough. What we will do now is we will drag them so we can copy it. Copy. And let's change our view to view mode. Go to hairline. And then we'll drag these glasses to somewhere over here. Right? Cool. So now, yeah. Well, I'm going to see how it turns out. I'm going to try it. So before we do this, I'm going to delete this picture over here. Actually, I like this image. In case I need it again, I'll make a new one just in case. We'll have to. I don't know yet. We'll have to find that out after. So yeah, I just want to keep this image over here, cut, in case I need to refer to it again. All right, so I have this image over here, and when I try to view it, I can press view, view mode. What's split view even do? Oh, wow, cool. Let's see what happens when I bring this to the printer. File, print. If the printer decides to load up. We don't want that. We want, this is our printer over here. Sorry? That's the laser cutter. Now, let's see if this works. Okay. If it doesn't, I'll pause the video and try to fix it, but we'll see how this goes. Oh. Hold on. Oh. hold on, I have to pause it. Okay, so I upload it to the printer, and here is the name tag. And so what this tells us is if the colors are correct on this is now the machine saying this is what I'm going to do. So we know, we'll zoom in. You know from over here that where there's red, yep, we know red means it's going to cut, red means it's going to do the outside, blue means it's going to do the inside, black means it's going to raster, and we see here that the thickness of the glass is actually with the thickness we put in when we did the viewing of the pixel mode, right? So this is a very good thing. There's one mistake. Who can pick up the mistake when I try to make this name tag? Is it going to work? What command do I want to do the laser cutter to do when I make the hole? And what is the command that we've given it? What color is the hole? Blue. What is blue? Bad. Blue is not going to cut all the way through. It's only going to make a little mark. So that's fine. That's good. That's why we put in the thing here, so we can find the issues. So over here, we just got to click this one over here. Change this color to red, and then we just send it to the printer again. Print, and what the print will do is it put the new one. Once we load it up, so this is going to go to the printer. Wonderful design, yes. Is that loaded up yet? Come on. It's very slow today. Ah, yes, okay. Right, cool, is the name tag. So then how I would do this on the laser cutter, obviously I'm not connected to the laser cutter right now. I have to plug it in via USB. But if I was connected to the laser cutter, what I would do is I can move this piece of thing around to match where the laser cutter is based on the piece of wood. I don't have to get a whole piece of wood. I can put a small piece of wood if I want, and I can move this around. And then I'll tell the laser cutter, how long will this take to cut? I can press this button over here to the right, and I can press start, and this particular design will take 48 seconds, 40 seconds it's going to take. Yeah, and not bad. When I start doing a larger class, it'll take more. The key thing I'm going to look at when we do these the key things I'm going to look for are, is your outside border red? So are you actually cutting your piece off? Is this black text thick enough for us to actually read? Depending on how bad it is, I might just let you print a bad design, that's fine. But if it's actually going to be wasting material, I'll stop it. If your name tag has a hole, now you don't have to make a hole. Sometimes the person might want a poker chip or something else. You don't have to do a hole, but if it is a key ring, like if I see a hole there and the hole's not coming out right, you're going to have to change that again. And we have that border. Okay, let me show you what this is going to look like if I try to put this. Let's try to simulate what this would look like using my software that I have here. So, and it's also going to show you how we're going to export this information so I can see. So what we're going to do is we will go to export. So can I get eyes on the board, please? 40 eyes, thank you. Top right, top left-hand corner, file, export. This is similar to when you exported your PDFs, right? We go export for print, and we just do that. Cool. Now, I think this will work. We'll see. Export, and we named it. Now, just in case that didn't work, when I load up my next program, oh, we're naming it over here. Let's n name tag PDF. Cool. And then let's also file export. We're going to also export it as a different file type that might work differently. We're going to go here. We're going to also change it as a CVG. CVG or no, DXF. We'll save it as a DXF file. DXF file. Cool, yep, export. And then we'll call this one n name tag dxf. Cool. So what I can do is in this software over here where I have a simulation that I made, right? And it's going to give you some understanding of how like the colors will look. This one I made it out of purple, but I'm going to make the new one out of something else. Let's go File, Design. I'd have to make a new file, File, New. Now you don't have to worry about using this software, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like. If we insert, let's insert a DXF file. And where do we find this? Okay. We have some of it, but it didn't fully work. The name didn't come out. We might have to fix that later. Can we? CVG, that might work even better. You know what? I'll do this on the next video. But what I will do now is I'll show you a mistake, another mistake. So let's say we actually had the thing and we wanted to paste this image in, right? This image we had here, and I want to have this in the drawing. Let's see how bad it's going to happen. Right? Right? Say, oh, I don't want that. I want to cover it up like this. And this thing has a lot of mistakes on it, right? We have the image over the top. We also have these red lines missing. Remember when I showed you this example on the board previously? So let's say I try to print this. It's going to happen a lot with your pictures, especially if you have colors. Let's say you also make a mistake. You put a bit of color somewhere. So instead of this being black, let's say we make this. Let's put in another color. Let's say we put in a. Right, let's say we put in a different color here. Let's see what happens. What is actually going to happen? I actually don't know for sure, so we'll see. So let's say you want to put in colors, and this represents that. This is a representation of a lot of you that have your images that you're just trying to make with your design. If I try to print this, my educated guess is that it's going to come out with a lot of black rasterings if it comes out at all. So let's go File, Print. Okay. No, that's not the one. It's still loading. It should be the 54th one that comes up here. This is the one that we want. Okay. So, let's see what happened here. This one sort of kind of worked. We got lucky. It's not always going to be that way. So over here, this image came up. The image does not look the same quality that we put into our design, right? It was kind of bad, right? Do you see how it's blurry, the image? Also, the word over here, sometimes if you have a color, it will do that like a gradient. So it's determining that sometimes if purple is midway between two colors, it might work. And that's going to come out as it's not going to raster that part as much. But it's still very much black and white. Because the laser cutter can't even reduce its power to 50%. It has to always go at 100%. So what it does is it burns a little dot at 100% and then it misses a dot. And then it burns a dot and then misses a dot. So you're going to get like a checker pattern. And that's what's happening here with the T and the A. And we had this thing over here where I showed in our example, over here on the right, we saw how that was covered up in our example, but the red and blue lines existed beneath it, right? Yes, do we see that? So they exist even if you cover them up with things. This, you know what, if a student gave this to me, I might even print it. It's okay. Some things won't work if you put like large pictures through. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to pause the video. I'm going to let you work on your drawings. I'm going to try to get the simulation to work on the meantime while I pause the video. And then once I show the simulation working, I'll show you what it would look like if we cut it on wood using my simulation. And when that happens, I'll ask you to pause your work and be quiet again and we can look on the board. Okay? Any questions? All right, don't talk yet. So I have put the image into like a computer software, not like Blender, it's like Fusion 360, somewhat similar. And this is approximately what this will look like if we were cutting this out of wood. One thing the simulator doesn't do very well is there's a thin blue line on the outside and my simulator doesn't exactly show that. So we have to imagine that there's a border that would still occur around the outside. But it gives us some sort of indication of like what this lettering will look like, how it's just going to be black and white, but it's also going to be black and white in the sense of it really matters the material that it's on. So it's going to be a lighter version of the material and a darker version of the material. So where we have the name, that's going to be like a burnt version of that material. So whatever pattern is on the wood originally, the burnt version is going to have a similar pattern as well. Notice I can't put colors on this. If we did the other example where I did a name on a piece of acrylic. This one was even harder to do an example of because the burning of acrylic is actually the opposite. When we burn on acrylic, it goes white. If you imagine you have a plastic ruler and you scratch that ruler, when you scratch plastic, it goes white. So if we're doing something that's on a piece of colored acrylic, the scratches will come white. If we want to do something on a piece of wood, it's going to go black. Now we can always modify this. We can always paint it if we want to add extra colors, and if we have time, we can do that. Or there's some special materials where we can get a color and we can paint it originally and we can burn the paint off. But that's more advanced stuff. But that's it for this tutorial. I will save this and upload it so you can see it.